Hello everyone, and thank you for tuning in as we're going to discuss my thoughts on the Pikmin 4 demo. It's out, I've played it, and I got some thoughts here to share. So first off, I want to begin by just giving a little bit of an intro, a little bit of a history on my relationship with the Pikmin games. So I have played all of the Pikmin games. You know what, I'm sorry, got a little ahead of myself. I barely touched that 3DS game, so sorry about that. But all the main console games, played them all, I loved them all. Pikmin 1, I still play that almost every single holiday. Just something about the holiday times just makes me really want to play that game. That first game, it's just so good. So good, you can beat it just as fast as you want to beat it. There's actually rewards to kind of dragging it out and see some new characters that don't pop up till later. Each day is a treat in that game. I love that game so much. Pikmin 1's amazing. Pikmin 2 is amazing, and so is Pikmin 3. And so Pikmin 3 Deluxe in particular, I have hundreds of hours on that Switch version of that game. I just keep playing it. I just keep hopping into those modes. The main story's fun. I've beaten it a couple times, but the treasure hunt, the boss rush, the enemy hunt. I can't remember all the names, I'm sorry, but I keep playing them over and over. So I'm pretty excited about Pikmin 4. I've given so many hours of my life to this franchise, and it's never really abused that, so I'm really looking forward to giving a couple more hours, a couple hundred more hours to this upcoming Pikmin 4. So I downloaded the demo, I checked it out, and so here's some of my immediate thoughts of what I played. So right off the bat, let's kind of talk about the graphics and the music. What do I think? Well, surprise, surprise, I think the graphics and the music are excellent. They've always really just had a certain charm to them, and it's still here again. I just really love the aesthetic, the sort of small scale. It's still fun. I haven't played the re-releases of 1 and 2 that just came out on Switch, but I understand they have changed some of the products, right? So they don't say Duracell batteries, now they say something else. And whatever, you can get over that, but it's still fun when you see something you recognize. So in this demo, you get to see the Game Boy Advance SP. And the first time I saw that, it was just such a treat. I really enjoyed that. I'm bringing this up because it does involve the graphics, because I immediately wanted to see, like, well, how detailed is it? Can I read on the back label of the Game Boy Advance SP to see, what edition this is? Is it the 101? Yeah, the game's graphics hold up. You can see things pretty clear up close, and it still looks really great from afar, which when I'm in the thick of it, I often am playing with a pretty zoomed out camera to get as good a view of the map as I possibly can. Now the music has always, again, just had this certain charm to it that I've just really loved over the years. Some of those tracks just play in my head all the time, and I think there's going to be some bangers on this one as well. In particular, just the opening music track when you get on the title screen, I think it's just so lovely. And I totally intend to try to figure out, I'm sure you can find a YouTube video for this already, but I want to learn how to play that on piano. It just seems like such a lovely little song to have in your back pocket. And if you're with the right group of people and a piano is around, you start playing that song, recognizes that song, you're with very good people at that point. But yeah, so graphics and music, I'm giving it a thumbs up. 5 out of bags of popcorn for that one. So gameplay and controls. So this is slightly different, but that's fine. Each game's been a little bit different. I kind of feel like each time they're getting a little bit better. I'm not actually one of the individuals that swear by the Wii editions with the IR tracking, the motion controls. I don't know, I played so much on GameCube that I got really good at directing the dudes around with that yellow C-stick that it didn't really, it wasn't my thing. And I just always felt like the Wii's IR sensor it's always visually very jittery as it bounces around the screen. So I'm not actually one of those people that really wish you had those motion controls. I actually think Pikmin 3 Deluxe kind of has the best controls out there. I really love the way that played, and I get the feeling that Pikmin 4, it's just iterative. It's making it a little bit better. So, you know, small things that are different is that when you're throwing your Pikmin, and let's say there's 15 jewels in this pile, and so you start throwing your Pikmin and you're smashing the button. You're just throwing them. But the game will take a little pause when you've thrown exactly 15 to kind of let you know that, hey, this task is technically done if you want to move on to something else. Now, if you're like me, you want to not overshoot, but you want to overstock those Pikmin to make them travel faster back to the little ship. So you can still do that, you know, just a little bit of pause, and then you can keep throwing and then throw them onto that object and overload them. Another way that's a little bit different from the past is now there is this sort of like auto lock when you get close to objects that you can throw Pikmin onto. And for the most part, that's really awesome. I think the only time I had some trouble with it, and I'll probably bring it up a little bit later when it's more appropriate, but you know, sometimes when you have objects all close to each other, and you're not trying to get them all out of there, you just want to selectively grab certain things. Sometimes that felt a little annoying as the auto lock, you know, might have been bouncing over to other objects. So, you know, another thing that's unique is this time you can let the game pick which Pikmin you want to take with you as you go out on your adventure that day. Or just any time you're going to the ship or going in and out of one of those little caves. So, you know, you have a little auto button now. And I thought it was great. There was only one time when I felt like, you don't quite understand my current priorities video game. And that was when I was at like the very end of the demo. I'd done pretty much everything. All I really needed to do was freeze a pretty big body of water, which required a very large amount of ice Pikmin. And the game did not realize that's what I wanted to do. So I had to manually send those yellows and reds back up in there and take those ice Pikmin out. So the other big new addition that I think everybody, it's right there on the box art, is Poochie. And yeah, I know that's not his name, but I'm sticking with Poochie because he is Poochie D and he rocks the telly. So I almost immediately love the guy, or gal. I don't think they really go into it, but what a wonderful companion Poochie has added. Because at first it just seemed like a cute little addition, but very quickly I realized that, like, no, this is gameplay-wise very helpful. You know, the Pikmin can ride on Poochie's back, so that's helpful if you just need to get from point A to point B and you just don't want the distractions of Pikmin running into any enemies or trying to pick something out. Just get them all on the dog's back and like fleas, like we're running along. And then, you know, Poochie, you can upgrade what Poochie can do, how much he can drag, how strong he bites enemies. And so I'm enjoying that, and I'm excited to see what other new skills I'll be able to get. Because, you know, even in the demo, you get to play, well, it depends on, you have two options before the demo will end. But if you play out to the full 5 days, you know, Poochie gets new abilities. You know, he can start hopping over ledges. He can start swimming into ponds. So I'm really excited to see what other sort of big, sort of game expanding Metroidvania style additions Poochie's repertoire might include, as well as just the iterative upgrades you might see to, you know, he bites harder, he can drag heavier things. So speaking of dragon things, you have your enemies. So a lot of the old ones return, and I expect even more of the old ones will keep returning. But I like the new ones. The new ones seem cool as well. In fact, one of them tricked me, and I'll bring it up here in just a second. But in particular, you fight this little hedgehog boss twice. And I'm only just now realizing it, but like, is that a low-key dig at Sonic? I don't think so, but I really like the Spike boss. I thought it worked very well, and in particular, maybe not the first time, but the second time, you definitely have this really fun music track that plays. It's like a marching band drum. And I don't know, I wasn't expecting it, and it worked really, really well. So I like that. So on to that enemy that tricked me, right? So for the most part, I would say this demo is pretty darn easy for returning Pikmin players. If you already kind of know the general strengths and weaknesses of each Pikmin, you're really not going to be thrown for a loop, and you're probably going to beat the demo without really losing any Pikmin. That said, I did mess up once, and I'll probably show some footage of this right now, but there is an enemy that I didn't quite recognize, and maybe it's been in the past ones, but for as many times as I played Pikmin, I thought I would have recognized it. But it did a little move, and I thought it was like in the animation of a death throw, but no, it had one little last fight in them, and it pretty much wiped out my entire crew. So yeah, moving on from the gameplay and controls, let's talk about the upgrade system a little bit. I was kind of already discussing a bit with Poochie, but you soon realize that everything in the game seems to be upgradable. And I would say right now, I think I love it. I loved getting those upgrades in the past Pikmin game where I really feel like, oh man, now I'm stronger, I can really do more and more. But when I first hopped into the demo and kind of realized that like, oh wow, I can't take out 100 Pikmin, and I won't be able to take out 100 Pikmin for probably quite a while. I really wasn't too sure if this, everything needs upgrading type of mentality was gonna be okay, or would this just end up being used to pad out the length of this game? Not too sure, but that first area that you explore, I thought was great. Just visually and design-wise, all look cool, but just gameplay-wise and like map size-wise, there was a lot to do, a lot to collect. It took 5 days, and I still felt like there's things I was kind of, could probably, do a little bit more if I wanted to. So when they show you that map in regards to the overall game size, they don't reveal it, but I get the feeling that we are probably going to get more maps in this game than we normally got in past Pikmin. Normally in past Pikmin, there's like 4 or 5 areas, 4 or 5 maps that make up the entirety of the game. And I don't really want to like guess a number right now, but because I'm probably gonna say, we're gonna get more, and we'll get 6, and hey, I'm right. But man, it'd be great if there was maybe like 7 or 8 areas that we get to explore in this game. And which place, the size of the map we explored in the demo, if we have 7 or 8 of those, kind of makes sense with the way this upgrade system is working, that if you do get up to 100, and maybe this game lets you go past 100. Tech-wise, we should be able to do that now, but maybe that's too much to handle. Anyways, I think I like this upgrade system. I'm curious to see where it goes. As of right now, it's scratching a particular itch in my brain. So more of that, please. Let's see where it goes. Now on to the story. So, it starts off with a very interesting cutscene, and then you play actually as Olimar in a modern house. And I'll be honest, I was kind of surprised when I first saw it, because in the past Pikmin games, I always kind of felt like we were exploring. I knew we were on Earth because there's Duracell batteries and whatnot, but it felt like we were in the aftermath of something bad happened. Like everything we found was like trash and kind of run down. And maybe I'm forgetting a few things. In Pikmin 3, there's definitely like working light bulbs and whatnot, so electricity still functions somewhere in the world. But in this game, definitive proof that like, okay, humans are still alive and running. We have a house with all the amenities of the modern era, and electricity is running because little fans are going. But anyway, so that's how the demo opens, and it's a cool little tutorial, but it's also an interesting little tidbit of story of what's going on with Olimar. But then you cut to who you're going to be playing, and you play as your own created character, which I really enjoy. And I mean, I totally see myself playing this more than once just to mix up how my character looks, just to try it out. I like how it carries on to more than just you pick your head, your face, your hair, and your suit color. But your suit color also dictates like the color of your spaceship. And I know it sounds silly, but I kind of like that when I first started and saw, oh, my spaceship is green, just like my suit. Awesome, I'm all for it. But you play as your own character, and you're on a crew. And you've been on crews the past few times, or Pikmin 3, technically Pikmin 2 is a crew of 2, but Pikmin 3, you play as that crew of 3. And this time there's way more crew. But from what I'm telling right now, or what I can see, you actually only play as one character. Maybe this comes later, but right now in the demo, you're not switching between other characters. Maybe that's because Poochie seems to be that much more skilled and equipped that I can see that you can unlock some abilities that kind of give him the same abilities you would have with your previous captains in Pikmin 3. But yeah, so you play as your own creative character, and you start discovering or saving, rescuing some of your crewmates, and they're all pretty cool. I like them so far. They're all very distinct. I like their design. I like their personalities. The personalities actually do come through in the writing. There seems to be some dynamics between the different characters, how they feel about each other. I really like it, and so that's cool. And this goes back to the upgrade system. You find these people, and then you find the guy that's the science dude on your ship, and suddenly he knows how to like help you out and make you parts and convert raw materials into other things. Other dudes will give you unique side quests. I really like it. I think it's a really good addition to the game, and just even little things that like. I really love that at the end of the day, you start each day in this sort of home safe space to where you can grow a few Pikmin, talk to your crewmates, and what have you. And you come back to that end of the day. And I just really love that little cutscene to where you come back and it starts playing the classic end of day music that just gets me right in the feels. But all of those people that you've rescued are there, and they're like clapping and they're happy that you're back. And I just love it. It's great. Besides your fellow crewmates, you also are finding regular old citizens from your home planet who apparently heard the distress beacon, and some of them are out for they want to explore and discover new animals. They want to find new plants. Others are just out for a buck. They want to go find some treasures, take it back to their home planet, and become millionaires. So you're finding all sorts of people, and this structure of crewmates, plus you're still trying to find Olimar, and you're finding these citizens. I love it, and I get the vibe that like I'll be guessing all the way to the end. Is there one more citizen? Is there one more person I'm going to rescue at the very end of the game that's going to open up some cool thing? So right now the story, I'm enjoying it. You're finding crewmates that are being turned into like plant people. It's cool. I dig it. So now on to some of the specifics of the demo. So I think it's a pretty dang good demo lengthwise. Like you get a good feel for the game. Some demos, Nintendo, they've had some bad demos in the past to where, you can only play this so many times before it nukes itself, or Smash Brothers on the Wii, I think it was, had those hilarious virtual console games that had 5-minute time limits, just ridiculous stuff. So this one's good. I think it took me about 2 to 3 hours for the first playthrough. Again, I've played a lot of Pikmin games, so much so that very first day, I collected nearly 1,200 of whatever they call Sparkonium or whatever. I collected 1,200 and the demo ends at 1,500. Sorry, correct myself. I collected nearly 1,200, because I'm sure there's gameplay footage playing right now where you can see that number doesn't say 1200. But yeah, the demo ends at 1,500, and on the first day, I collected like 1,200. So for the rest of the demo, I ended up avoiding all treasures so I could continue to explore and just check everything out. So that took about 2 to 3 hours. But once I beat that, I hopped in. As I already said, I wanted to check out some other creative character builds just to see some fun colors. And I hopped back again because the same Pikmin itch of I wanted to see, can I do it more efficiently? Can I play it a little bit better? But also, I had avoided all those treasures, and I kind of get a kick out of the funny little names that they give the treasures. And when you collect the treasures, one of the citizens you rescue allows you to inspect your treasures in like a 3D model mode. So that Game Boy Advance SP, you could hop in there and see just how detailed everything is, read the back of the label, interact with it, close the lid. I love that stuff. I really love it. And so I'm glad that's in there. So yeah, I hopped right back in there. I haven't beat it a second time, but I'm going through and collecting different treasures. A lot of fun. I think you get a lot of bang out of your buck. And the Dandori mode that you, this was a multiplayer mode in previous games. Now they've incorporated it into single player. Super smart, really like it. You play it twice in the demo, but then there is a separate, just straight up Dandori mode in the demo, aside from the story. I haven't done that yet, so I kind of get the vibe that this might be a semi endless demo. You can play this as much as you want and keep getting a lot of bang for your buck. At least if you want to get the idea, do I want to buy this game? Do I want to play this game? This demo does exactly what a demo is supposed to do, and it gives you just a really good taste as much as you need. Keep coming back, play the demo over and over until you realize, yeah, I want a little bit more. I want to keep checking this out. And your progress from the demo carries over. I don't think I'm going to do that. I think I'm going to I want to start fresh when the main game comes out. And spoilers, if you haven't already guessed, I've already pre-ordered this. When Nintendo did that for $100, get 2 games deal, and then I found out Tears of the Kingdom was $70. I was like, well, I'm definitely doing that. And yeah, Pikmin 4 was the second game I decided to get along with Tears of the Kingdom. So once you realize that you want this game, you can carry over your progress, and I think that's awesome. So this is the goodest time as any. Let's wrap it up with some final thoughts. If you already like Pikmin, like me, I think this demo, you probably already have it. You already played it many times, and you have fallen in love with Pikmin 4. I don't really see a lot that long-running Pikmin fans are going to have issues with. Yeah, it's a little different, but that's okay. Go back and play all the old ones. They're all on Switch now, so amazing, right? If you're new to Pikmin, I think this is going to be a great first entry in someone's book, in someone's captain's log. I would have said Pikmin 3 Deluxe beforehand, but to be honest, Pikmin 3 Deluxe story, I kind of burned through really fast, and I don't feel like that game quite lets go of your hand for quite a while. I got a bad feeling Pikmin 4 is also, they already have little messages constantly for everything. Luckily, you can skip through them. But if I'm right, that there's more maps than the previous games, and all this upgradable stuff in the game, I think you're going to have a better sense of fulfillment at the end of Pikmin 4 than you have in Pikmin 3. So I'm going to recommend it already, that if you're new to Pikmin, just go ahead and check out 4. It's probably going to be the most refined. And if you like it, absolutely check out the old Pikmin. Pikmin 3 is amazing, and as you've heard me say at the beginning of this, Pikmin 1 is one of my favorite games of all time. I play it once a year, and it's just so good. So yeah, check all these games out, check out the demo. I think you're really gonna like it. I think this is just an excellent showcase of what makes Pikmin fun and charming. Highly, highly recommend. 5 bags of popcorn, 16 stars, 115.7% recommend rate. Whatever scale we're gonna land on, I'm trying to say it's good. Check it out. And if you have been enjoying this video, thank you for getting to the end of this. Don't forget to like and subscribe. If you hit the notification bell, you can see when more videos are coming out. I can go ahead and tell you right now, it's pretty much a conclusion that I will be doing another Let's Play podcast of Pikmin 4. I just love the game so much, and I think people enjoy seeing the different ways a person tackles that game. So yeah, stay tuned for that. That'll be coming out in just a few weeks. But yeah, I'm just going to say thank you one more time because I really do appreciate all the support. Leave a comment if you have any thoughts on this Pikmin 4 demo or any Pikmin stuff in the past. As you can tell, I have a lot to say about it. So leave a comment and I'll get back to you with some thoughts on the Pikmin franchise. Yeah, thank you once again, and this will have to do it for today. Goodbye.